In this video, we will be talking with you about recycling.
To start off, here we have some everyday items. Oftentimes, we throw whatever we think is recyclable into the recycling bin, but we oftentimes guess wrong. Pause the video and take a moment to look at them and decide which items are recyclable and which are not. Now that you've taken a moment to write down your thoughts, we will go through some general recycling rules and give you some more information about recycling that can help you in the future and also help you with your answers to the previous question.
Here we have some general recycling rules. 1. Recycle all bottles, cans, and paper. 2. Keep all items clean, especially items that can be contaminated with food. 3. Don't recycle plastic bags. 4. Don't recycle food or liquids. 5. Don't recycle bagged recyclables. These rules don't always hold because there are always exceptions, but these rules are a good start to learning what is and what is not recyclable.
A myth is a widely held belief that is actually false. Here we have some common recycling myths. One of the first myths is, even if something is not recyclable, if you put it in the recycling bin, it will get sorted out and recycled. This is actually false because non-recyclable items can contaminate recyclables. Recyclables stuck inside plastic bags with non-recyclables are at risk of never making it through the recycling process due to a high degree of contamination. The second myth is, everyone always recycles. This is false because many people don't recycle if it's not convenient for them. Recycling takes dedication and effort, and also some education. It takes someone who greatly cares about the environment to stick to the recycling rules and continue to recycle. The third myth is, if something has the recycling arrows on it, then it must be recyclable. This is false because the arrows that are usually associated with recycling are actually arrows that refer to the type of plastic that the product was made of, and not how recyclable it is.
Why recycling is important? It's actually a law in Connecticut. It costs less, it conserves and saves energy, it reduces air and water pollution, and it creates more jobs, thus bettering the economy, and it prevents 1 ton of paper waste and can save 15 mature trees, and it decreases greenhouse gases and pollutants.
For things that you cannot recycle in your normal recycling bin, there are alternative recycling facilities that take these items. Some alternative facilities include the Household Hazardous Waste Collection Center. This collection center would collect things like batteries, paint, and flammable products. Food waste can go into compost bins. Participating stores tend to collect plastic items such as plastic bags, bubble wrap, plastic from toilet paper and paper towels, and plastic bottles. Electronic collection centers can collect things like phones, tablets, iPads, computers, and other electronic items. Donation centers could collect things like clothes, old glasses, coat hangers, and other items of that sort.
Why we need you. By recycling, you are being a citizen of the world. You need to think about how what you do can impact others. By recycling, you're also aware of the bigger world around you. And the part you play in recycling can better the world as a whole, no matter how small the action is. And smaller impacts build up to make bigger ones. For example, for each pound of paper recycled, 1 gallon of water is saved. And for each pound of mixed materials recycled, 4 gallons of water and an hour of electricity is saved.
Now that we've gone through some recycling rules, some myths, and some alternative facilities, we're going to revisit the pictures from the beginning of the video, and now I want you to pause your video one more time and go through the pictures again, deciding what you can recycle at home one more time. Do not take into consideration any of the alternative facilities when answering. After that, we will go over the answers together.
And we have the items from the beginning. And we want to know now if these items are recyclable or not. First, the bottle caps. Bottle caps are not recyclable when they're loose because they get stuck in the machine. However, if you were to attach them to the bottle, then they can be recycled. Shredded paper. Shredded paper is also not recyclable because of how tiny it is. Therefore, it's easy for it to slip through the paper separator of the recycling facility. Also, when you shred paper, it shortens its fibers and reduces the paper's potential for future use. The milk cartons. This item is recyclable. The batteries. Batteries are not recyclable because they have very highly toxic chemicals in them. However, you can bring them to the alternative recycling facilities and dispose of them there. The milk jug. This item also is recyclable. The plastic bag. This item cannot be recycled, and that's because these bags get tangled in the machinery at the recycling plant. However, they can be collected by grocery stores and be recycled in a proper way. Newspaper. This item can be recycled. And lastly, the pizza box. This cannot be recycled because it has grease on it, and once it's soiled, the paper can't be recycled because the paper fibers won't be able to separate from the oils during the pulping process. This example, it shows how food is a major contaminant source in paper recycling.
Going on to the next set of pictures, the first item which is in front of you are the cans. These cans are actually recyclable. Aluminum foil is a tricky question. If the aluminum foil has food residue on it, it can't be recycled because it's contaminated with food and will contaminate the other recyclings. However, if it is clean, then it can be recycled. The plastic bottles are recyclable, but the jar that has pasta sauce in it cannot be recycled because it will contaminate the other recyclings. However, if rinsed out, then it can be recycled. The plastic cups are recyclable. But on the other hand, the styrofoam cups and containers are not recyclable. This is because of its density and also because it's often contaminated with food. Polyester foam is 95% air and is often contaminated with food or drink. It's difficult to clean it because it's so porous and has a lot of tiny holes. Now that we've learned a lot about recycling and are somewhat experts on it, take some time to write a list of 3 things you learned could or could not be recycled. What are some ways you can make these changes in your own home? What item surprised you the most when you learned it could or could not be recycled? We hope you found this video useful and that you learned a few new things. Thank you for watching.